So I'm going to talk to you a little bit around what we've done with technology, how we have tried to stand out from the crowd, how we tried to be different, but overall how we've tried to engage with candidates better. So one thing I'm not going to talk a lot about is efficiency. We have got efficiency through doing some of this, but it wasn't our primary driver. Before we do that, I'm going to go away from technology a little bit. I don't want to talk about technology for the first few minutes, and I'm going to play a video just to remind you what we're using technology for, i.e. to engage with our candidates and our people internally. So I'll tell you a little bit about Direct Line afterwards, but before that, I just want you to hear from some of our people about the type of population that we're working with and dealing with. So I think it's just useful to step back sometimes away from technology just to look at your people, because that just shows the diverseness of the people that we have working for us and the one we're trying to reach out to. Everyone is different, and we need to remember that as we go through. So just a little bit now then around Direct Line, who we are, what we are. Most of you will have heard of our brands, but may not have heard of Direct Line Group. So within there, we've got Direct Line, we've got Churchill, well-known brands that you would have seen in the marketplace, and then slightly less well-known brands around NIG, Green Flag you would have known as well. Some numbers, 14.9 million policies across all our brands, around 11,000 staff in the organisation, really range of different roles in the organisation, right from your contact centres up to accident repair centres, and you saw some of them in the video where we own 21 accident repair centres where we recruit for them sites as well. One claim every minute, so whilst we've been here today, you can imagine how many claims we've got put through that process. And we repair, it says 90,000 vehicles every year, that's now over 100,000 vehicles every year that we're repairing in our garages. Bit of our history, we've come a long way. We used to be part of the Royal Bank of Scotland group, won't say any more about that. We separated from Royal Bank of Scotland, we went on the FTSE share stock exchange on our own rights, and some key bits there that we can talk about as well. 4,000 motor policies in 2000, or 4 million, sorry, 2017 motor policies, and we made the Sunday Times best employer to work for, number 3 in that category. And last year, the third female CEO in the FTSE 100 at that time. So, challenges in recruitment. Probably the same challenges that you guys all face. Employment market has changed significantly. Unemployment at its lowest level. So we've got unemployment around under 4%. We've got recruitment sites in areas you wouldn't put them in. So historically they are in city centres. They're in Bristol, they're in Glasgow, they're in Manchester, they're in Doncaster, and they're in city centres. They're easy to get to from a transport point of view, but you can understand the amount of competition we're up against in trying to recruit into them areas. Our head office is based in Bromley, so it's not in a city location like London, although when you advertise you say it's in London, but we are competing with London people who want to travel into London with a slightly different working background there. So we needed to stand out in that crowd. We needed to work out how we would stand out, and we also needed to attract a really diverse population. So one thing that set us apart was our culture, and hopefully you saw that in there. Terms of what we recruit, big numbers, 1,500 external people a year. That's a mixture of call centre staff, right up to your deep thinking actuaries, right up to your accident repair centre people. And when you think about that, we don't mean the garages that you see. Our garages that probably have more technology in to fix the cars now than you have in the standard office because of the type of cars that we're fixing. But we're talking big numbers, and that ranges from graduates, so we do around about 50 graduates a year, over 100 apprenticeships, and that's from blue collar in the call centre, in the accident repair centres, to customer service ones, and then your functional areas in between, digital, IT, marketing. And we're absolutely trying to get the same skill set that everybody else is trying to get in IT, security, etc. So, what we wanted to achieve. A few things that we focused on here. Job fairs. Who does job fairs in the audience? few, handful. So your typical job fair, you turned up, you would put a table, you'd put a tablecloth on it, you'd put a stand up, and you put some pens there, and by first half an hour, then pens would go, or your key rings would go. So we wanted to interact with our candidates slightly differently in the way that we did it. So we developed a virtual reality stand, and it was to show what it's like to work at Direct Line. We created the video ourselves. We had some software engineers do that for us internally. Using it, the first time we've used it, we had a queue of people waiting to use the equipment. And it is literally just looking over one of our call centres and tells you what it's like to do that job. Quiz at the end of it, so we capture the details. So if you think at the end of it, we've got the candidate details to mark it for future. Phenomenal, the way that it's gone down. Really simple thing. If you think about the type of demographics that we're recruiting, particularly for our call centre job, young market, school leavers, second jobbers, plays to that skill set really, really well and gone down really well. So that's used at all job centres or all job fairs now, and we also use it for more second job, third jobs where we do HR events, etc. Apprenticeships. So most people will now be doing apprenticeships based on the fact that you can use the levy for it. So we started working on apprenticeships 3 years ago, and we recruit around about 150, right from call centre, as I said earlier, but we also do some higher level apprenticeships in areas like pricing and underwriting, so quite a diverse element of it. Again, we looked at how we could reach that population of people. So we developed a mobile phone technology in-app game. So how many people play Candy Crush or a game like that? Yeah? Not many here. So we developed an in-app game that will pull out, if you're on Candy Crush or other games, you get a link to a DLG game. It is only a matching game, so it's really simple. You match up the Churchill signs, you match a Direct Line brand, so it tells you a little bit about the brand that we're doing as well. Unbelievable stats in terms of people downloaded. So 500,000 people downloaded the game. 500,000 people downloaded the game that we just developed and put out there. And that just shows how easy it is to get to market. 92% of people who saw the advert clicked through to it, so big stats when you do it. And of that, 8% of them people subsequently applied for a job with us. So we filled that role. It cost about $10,000 to build that app, and we filled 150 roles that we were trying to fill with that £10,000, no more advertising. It just shows how you can engage with people differently. The game, if you want to see it, it's a really simple game. It's on a Direct Line careers site, so Direct Line careers, you'll see it there. Following on from the last presentation where we talked about video interviewing, it feels like it nicked one of my slides because we introduced video assessment into our volume call centre area. And I was a bit schizophrenic about this, I've got to be honest. So I've worked in recruitment a number of years. I can see the benefit of it, but I can also see that it really engaged with the candidate. So we launched it and worked out how it would work. The results speak for themselves. So we've had no one refuse to do it. So we talked about the app that could be earlier, whereby it appeals to the older generation as well. Whatever your age, people have submitted a video interview to us. No issues with that at all. So completion rates are really high. What we've also found by doing it is the people who apply stay in the process more. So if you think about volume roles, typically about 20–25% of people drop out. More people were sticking in the process right throughout it. And play to that efficiency point that I said earlier, whereby I wasn't going to talk about it. This one created huge efficiency. So our guys can watch in the region of 4 to 6 videos an hour. In the time when we did telephone interviews, the maximum would have been 2, and that's if the candidate actually answered the phone when you called them. You can see about the efficiency that that has generated for us. More likely to attend face-to-face interview if they pass. What we also found is the time people do the video is obviously date stamped when it comes in. So typically, it's done around 8:30 in the evening. That would have been the time in the past when we were closed. So we did standard hours, 9 till 6. We thought we were a bit good, opening till 6, because we did the extra hour for people after work. Yeah, that didn't work. So over 40% of the videos that are submitted outside them hours, with the majority time being 8:30. You even get some submitted on Christmas Day, Boxing Day and everything, so you'll be amazed at what time they come in. But the quality of them is good. I go around talking to new candidates, and you do get feedback from them that it was daunting, yeah? But you also get feedback from them that it was worthwhile doing. So we've done the videos that are on there are done by our own people. So the questions are asked by our own people. We walk them around the office as part of the video as well. So we tell them a little bit about what it's like working at Direct Line. We tell them a little bit about the culture. So you can see the benefit of that whole video. We could never get that out in a telephone interview. Okay, last thing I want to just touch on is graduates. So we don't do a huge number of graduates, but we do around 30, 40, 50 graduates depending on the year, and some of them are generalist graduates and some of them are specific functional graduates like finance and HR, etc. But we're in that difficult market where I can go to career fairs at universities, I can stand next to PwC or EY, they can send you to Dubai, I can send you to Doncaster. Yeah? That's a slightly different proposition that we're competing against. So we decided not to do that, and we focus on programmatics, online, etc. And one of the ways we've started to engage and assess people is through gamification. So again, we can put out standard personality tests. People are used to doing them. It's not particularly exciting. You can give them an online one, 15 minutes to complete. So we do a gamification that will take them through 2 games predominantly, and they're really odd games, yeah. And this is like a balloon blows up, and you've got to decide when to stop it before it bursts. Okay? And then if you burst it too early, another one blows up, and that goes on for about 5 minutes. Yeah? And people just love doing it. If you're a graduate, you love playing it from the stats that we've got. We baseline the results, so we've got the psychologist working out the data behind it. So standard personality test that you do on paper or online tests around 2,000-3,000 data points when you do it. This one tests minimum 5,000 up to 12,000 depending on when you burst that balloon or something like that. It can tell how risk adverse you are. I've got no idea how you do it, so please don't ask that question on Slido later, but we've got people who work it out, and we have proved over the 3 years we've been using it that the successful candidates on a graduate program score higher on this than standard personality tests. And you can see we've got one on the balloon there, and a safe unlocking one. And again, it's all around risk, but it's also around your personality, etc. Because if you get the standard online question, the standard online question will say something like, do you like working in teams? Yeah? If you're going to apply for DLG, and it's a team-based job, I think you know how to answer that. Yeah? You can answer that in 10 different ways, but this one will give you the data behind it. And again, you can see completion rate, 95% of people completed it. Real big engagement level with these stuff that we've done. So hopefully, there's 3 examples there that we focused on. Really focused on how do we engage with candidates and attract candidates better. They have given us efficiencies at the back end, but that's been the secondary purpose of doing it. It's about how do we attract and engage the candidates. I think overall, if we just step back, the reason why we've gone down the digital route is as an organisation, we are trying to digitalise insurance. So we need digital people. So we know people now want to apply for their insurance online, don't particularly want to talk to us. Most customers actually want to do a claim online as well, unless it's a serious claim or roadside assistance, they want to do it online. So we need people who understand digital, are comfortable using it. Simple things like, if you're on green flag and you call out an accident repair, one of our accident repair vans, if you call us, you will call us 3 times. We know that on average. Doesn't matter where you are in the country, you're going to call us 3 times to see where your van is. If you use the app to call out the van, you won't call us at all, because you can track the van. It gets there at the same time, but you can see how people react to it differently. So, points to consider as we move throughout the day. Review your own business objectives, really understand why you're trying to do it. Your recruitment processes might need to change, so we needed to move away from telephone assessment to deliver some of these. How you can showcase your business, because we're all after the same talent. Yeah? I can tell you about Direct Line, but you know what? That first video that we played showcased Direct Line better than I could ever showcase it. Understand your candidate, and most of us in this hall will be really out for a diverse range of candidates. And don't fear technology, because it can benefit the experience as much as anything else. So thank you for listening. I think we're over to a Q&A session now, or table session.